What's up, guys? Mr. Dan here, back again with another Martial Arts Monday review. This week we're taking a look at the film Dynamo, starring Ho Chun-tao, who is known as Bruce Lee, L.I., or sometimes pronounced Bruce Lie. That's the way we pronounced it when we were kids. He was one of my favorite guys to see on Kung Fu Theater on Saturday afternoons. I really enjoyed his movies. You know, they didn't often show actual Bruce Lee movies in the daytime, so I really felt like his movies were some of the best that they showed, and I've been tracking a lot of them down and rewatching them lately and having a great time with it. This is one I was not aware of. I've never seen this before. And let's just talk about the physical release again real quick. This is part of the Pearl River collection from MVD. This is number 2 in the series. Last week I reviewed The Leg Fighters, which was number 1. This is like that film. This also has a Blu-ray and a DVD, but it also has a nice little booklet with an essay by Michael Wirth, the author of the Bruceploitation Bible, which I'm trying to find for purchase online. I haven't been able to do that. But there he is with Ho Chun-tao. Many years later, he actually trained with him, and he's trained with many other people who were sort of, working in the Bruceploitation genre. That's Dragon Lee right there, training with Michael. I did make a video where I kind of introduced the idea of Bruceploitation. So this is definitely one of them. But this is an interesting one, though. And the essay, I watched the movie and then I read the little essay here by Michael Wirth. And I picked up on a couple things that make this one different, which he kind of confirms in the essay. This is like a self-aware Bruceploitation. It's actually kind of meta. It deals with the idea of fame and assuming the mantle of somebody else's fame and what that does to your personal life, and whether or not you want to sort of be this person that is created in this film literally by an agency, like an ad agency. They create a character and take this lowly cab driver and kind of pour him into that mold. And it's like, do you want to do that, or do you want to become your own person? And, I can't wait to watch the documentary Enter the Clones of Bruce Lee, where a lot of these Bruceploitation actors are interviewed, because I know that Ho Chun-tao, he never really got out from under that shadow. A lot of these guys didn't. And this one starts with Bruce Lee, L.I. I'm going to say Bruce Lie if I slip, okay? Just think that's easier. Excuse me. I have done 30 films, but only 3 I really like. The first is Dynamo. He's definitely being hard on himself. He made some pretty good films. He also made films like Bruce Lee in New Guinea, which is just hilariously bad, but he was good in it, and there's good parts. He was always good. And he looks good in this. I mentioned in an earlier video that I saw a film where he wasn't in the greatest shape. Man, he's in shape in this. He really is in shape. He's got, he's definitely in shape. His trapezius muscles are huge in this. And I noticed a lot of these guys have these huge trap muscles, like Lo Mang, for example, also. That's like a thing. Yeah, and there's a lot of symbolism here with the glasses. I mentioned in my my Bruceploitation video that I made that a lot of these films, they have actors that look like Bruce Lee to a degree, but, a lot of times if you have the same hairstyle and you throw on a pair of these large glasses, you get a lot closer to it, to the similarity. Well, there's a lot of symbolism here with him putting the glasses off and on. It's actually really pretty interesting. So in that sense, the film is actually kind of bittersweet, and like I said, it's kind of meta, and it almost kind of predicts the entire career of people like Ho Chun-tao. Can you be yourself, or do you have to stay trapped in the role of one of the successors of Bruce Lee? It really is an interesting sort of concept. Yeah, he's good. I've always thought he was a good actor in these films. Whenever there's, these films go through a cycle of, training, and then, so there's usually some kind of setback. Somebody is hurt or injured or killed or kidnapped, and in those type of scenes. He's always very good. So this is an excellent release. It's got all kinds of special features. You've got 2 cuts of the film that are very different. We're talking about 15 minutes of footage, 96 minutes versus 81 minutes. The version you're most likely to find on Tubi or YouTube is the shorter version, and it actually turned out that I had that in this Martial Arts Essentials collection. Let's see, there it is now. Okay, nobody would think that Bruce Lee and Yuen Woo-ping had much in common, but this epic film proves otherwise. I don't know, I guess that's because Yuen Woo-ping usually worked with other people or something, but this is part of the Yuen Woo-ping collection. Now you see here that this is a film by Hua Ai-hung, so you're saying what's going on there? Well, they're talking about the fight choreography with Yuen Woo-ping. Yeah, this is really a great release. Great special features. They go through the process of how these films are rescued and restored, and it is fascinating, man. Hats off to everybody involved in this. Michael Wirth and everybody else. I haven't watched the audio commentary yet because I've watched both versions of the film. And I've watched parts of the DVD and the Blu-ray just to sort of check everything out. So I've pretty much watched this 3 times in the last week or so. So as far as the plot basically details the arrival of this young executive, Miss Mary, played by Mary Han, who was really good in this. I mean, first of all, she's teeny tiny. She must have been very young. So she walks into this corporate office, which is, they're having financial problems and they're going to cut corners. She says, oh, no, we're not doing that. We're going the opposite. We're going big. And she takes over. And this this little tiny woman just fills up the screen every time she's on. She's quite good in this. And essentially, she has a chance encounter with Ho Jun-tao's cab driver character where he sees him chase down a stolen cab and beat the ever-loving snot out of the guys that tried to steal the cab. So then she has her assistant go to him and make him an offer to, they give him a contract and make him a film star, and he's jetting around the world making appearances and so forth. Now let's back up. When I'm talking about the corporate scenes, in the short version, you get very little of that. You get the bare bones of that, okay? In the longer version, you get a lot more of that. There's even subplots about a rival company. She knew people in the rival company. She throws them under the bus. She's ruthless. Now, those scenes are actually pretty good. It's not something you normally see in a film like this. I almost don't know which version to have you watch first. If you're a super fan and you're going to watch this more than once, I guess the short one first, and then watch the longer one. But the way that the short film cuts out all that corporate stuff is very clever, because there's also a subplot that they didn't need about corrupt horse racing. And at one point in the short version, she says something about betting on a horse, and it actually kind of works because you assume she's talking about she's using a figure of speech. In the long version, they're talking about horses, and then there's even a scene with her at a horse ranch. They're actually giving a horse freaking acupuncture. They got it hooked up to some machine, and they're giving it electrical impulses. And I know that was a thing back then. Even Bruce Lee trained by jolting his muscles with electricity. So I thought that was kind of funny, but then they sort of drop that, and then the betting action has to do with a martial arts tournament, and that is sort of the conclusion of the film, a Rocky-type conclusion of the film, but where Ho Jun-tao's character has to fight somebody in the ring, and there's some corruption there, and somebody is kidnapped, and which is a plot device they would use in, I believe it was Kickboxer, some years later, and when that someone is kidnapped, they have someone close to you, that affects the way you can fight. So then he finds out some information partway through the fight, and that changes everything. I'm getting ahead of myself. But in the meantime, he's jetting around the world making appearances, and some rival thugs have already gone into a gym of the man who will eventually be his trainer and tried to get him to pull out, and he refuses. So the film actually does a really good job. There's many locations in this: Chicago, Japan. He gets attacked on a ski slope. That's kind of interesting. He'll be in a hotel, and all of a sudden the room service will come up and attack him. You have many scenes like that, and it all leads up to him fighting in this tournament. Meanwhile, his personal life starts to disintegrate. His girlfriend kind of leaves him. The company, in the longer version, you see the extent to which the company manipulates this guy. You miss a lot of that in the shorter version. They actually hire all these trucks to create a traffic jam. This French actress that he met at a party, because they're introducing him to all the hoi polloi, all the famous people. She pulls up next to him as if it's by chance. They start talking, and they end up going back. She goes back to his place, and you get shower scenes with her, and then she comes out, and you have a surprisingly explicit sex scene. So will he eventually be able to reconcile with his girlfriend? Well, you have to watch the film. And then the other thread in here that's really interesting is they hire a martial arts teacher who's played by, is really good, Ku Feng, to sort of take over his training. And in the beginning, he's one of these, he's betting on horses, and he's sitting on his butt drinking alcohol. He's got one student in there who's doing his forms, and the student complains, "Oh, I've been doing the same thing for months." And he says, "All right, stand up." And he, gives the guy a little beating and says, "Oh, you should be grateful." And then he goes right back to drinking. And then they throw like 6 figures at him, and he's kind of desperate. So he ends up training the Bruce Lee character. And at first, it's very contentious, and they have some fights. And, they have this, when they're training, they sleep in this tiny room with beds like in the same room, and they start talking to each other. Eventually, they start to bond a little bit. And the cool thing is, the teacher sort of becomes a better person as a result, and their relationship is a really interesting part of the film. He sort of gets caught up in that, the struggle of whether, this guy can reclaim his own identity, or whether he's going to be a puppet for these corporate types. That's essentially the plot. Eventually, like I said, there is a conclusion in a ring, with a fight. Now, like I said, some of the different locations are very impressive. The fight scenes are all choreographed really well. Another excellent Pearl River Collection series. In the future, after I get the documentary, Enter the Clones of Bruce Lee, I may break off the Bruceploitation films into a separate day of the week or something. I'm not really sure. But come back again for more Martial Arts Monday. Hopefully we get some more of these Pearl River releases soon, but I've got plenty of other films to review. So come back next Monday. Let me know, as always, in the comments, what your thoughts are about this film or anything that I mentioned today. And I'll talk to you next time. Thanks.